Boxing King Media, powered by BYD in the Riyadh season. Barry Jones, I don't even know what to say. Are you still in shock, or what's your immediate thoughts?
Yeah, I am in shock. I think, first of all, it was great, by the way. Not for Joshua fans, but for boxing fans just to watch it. It was a fantastic performance. But yeah, I wouldn't have been shocked if Dubois would have won. I wouldn't have been shocked if Dubois would have knocked him out. I picked Joshua to win, and by stoppage. But these big guys, if they land first, and we've been saying all week on our broadcast on the Zone that whoever lands that solid jab first, has the real advantage and should win the fight really and dominate the space. But he didn't just knock him out. He boxed him, fought him, he bullied him, he bullied Joshua, he really did, and that's the shock. I thought Joshua was maybe going to do that to Dubois. But yeah, but what a performance. We can blame Joshua for all, he made loads of mistakes. Hands low, chin high, leaning back in straight lines, but you've got to give Dubois his credit. He was so focused. He was waiting for Joshua. He wanted Joshua to throw at him. He wanted to fire off his punches, and he did it. He did a bit. And
Bunce,
yeah, Steve.
Just joining this. We're halfway through. Yeah, Barry's just got to the point where he said about AJ moving in straight lines and with his hands low and leaning back.
Well, it's really interesting. So we've got to be really careful here because we've got to make sure we don't make this about AJ's flaws.
I just said
when we really need to make it about Dubois' skill set this evening, and I must admit we've probably been guilty of doing that already on TNT tonight, and maybe even to a degree on 5 Live. But
it's a shock, though, that's why.
Because it's a genuine shock. Because here's the thing: if you predicted a stoppage or knockout win for Daniel Dubois, you didn't get it right tonight. Because that's not what happened. That wasn't just a knockout win for Daniel Dubois. You've got to predict the 4 other knockdowns. You've got to predict all of the other chaos and mayhem that went with it. You've got to predict the fact. Barry's big on this, and he's absolutely right. He got bullied. And what's more, and this is something I never thought I'd say this: Daniel Dubois was a smarter boxer tonight than Anthony Joshua. That's a sentence I never thought I'd utter, Barry.
Crazy. How can somebody change so much? Because they said this guy had no heart, no skills. He was just a big puncher. He only had a puncher's chance. That was the narrative in this fight.
On Dubois, I never thought it was his ball. I certainly had a good chin. But I think it was a fitness issue. So when he got past a certain level, there's a panic. Now, smaller fighters get used to that at a young age because we're not knocking people out in 30 seconds or every fight we have. So we're in wars of attrition as an amateur in 3 rounds. You know what I mean? So you get used to that. You get used to testing your fitness. But he might train hard, but when you train hard before, you get to a point in the fight when you're tired and you got to break, like a marathon runner, you got to break through that wall. And on the other side, there's more fitness. But when you've never done it before, it's nerve-wracking because you panic when you're knackered. Cause
you're not sure it's there. You've never been there.
And people hit you, and so and that's look at the Usyk fight. He got knocked down with a jab. Timmy can't take a punch. It's a panic, and he don't know what to do. But then with the Miller fight, he went through it. That was the fight for me. He went through it and Miller's not a great fighter, but he's a decent fighter, and got through the other side. So in the Hrgovic fight, where the tactics for the first half of the fight was awful.
But he knew if he got through those horrible few rounds, because he'd already been there with the Miller fight, and even in that 5th round when AJ had a very good 20, 30, 40 seconds, okay, even then Dubois could have been hurt, could have been dropped. We might have even had a better fight. If he hadn't landed that perfect counter to that ridiculous right uppercut, and AJ had taken over that round, taken over the next round, who knows what would have happened in the 7th or 8th? Anything could have happened. I mean, anything could have happened.
Do you know what, though? Again, he didn't panic under pressure. When he got hurt, he didn't panic, took his time, sat on the back foot, and threw the right hand. That was it.
I've got one question left. I'll let him congratulate Hamza Shiraz.
Yeah.
Not sure about his tracksuit, Barry. What do you think? Not sure about his tracksuit.
It don't fit him, do it?
Do you see yourself wearing something like that? It's Gucci.
I'm looking at my trousers back.
Yeah.
Barry Jones in Gucci.
Oh yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Look, have a good Sunday.
This is the last question. We've got to give credit to Don Charles because people always forget the work he's done. And there's been some talk this week about rifts and voodoo dolls and all that kind of stuff. But Don Charles turned up today, clearly looking like he's recovering from a cold, possibly corona. And these guys done it again.
Yeah, and he was in the ring. I was desperately watching him. Want to make sure I want to see the interaction. And there was in the ring, there was direct eye contact between Don and Daniel quite a lot. So that reassured me that half of what we heard last week was complete and utter garbage. Listen, you know, it's no secret I'm a massive Don Charles fan. He's a good man, and he's a man for all occasions, and we sometimes forget how many big, hard, tough fights he's been in, where he's often had to pull his man through. I'm delighted for him, man.
I'm just going to let the fans know, as I said last time, Bunce's book is out. It's one of the best Christmas presents you could buy.
Barry's in it.
The link is in the comments, and Barry's in it as well.
Yeah. Loads of times. That's only the good parts of it, actually. The rest of it is pretty shit.
Claire's in it as well, yes.
Yeah,
Claire's in it. Barry's in it. I wrote it.
Right.
We done?
We're done. Bunce, thank you, and Barry. We're actually giving away an Usyk signed glove. Jump onto the Boxing King Media Instagram page. You'll see a post with the thumbnail of Johnny Nelson and Dominic Ingle pinned to the top. Just click on that post, the instructions on how to get yourself in the draw are on there. There's only about 100 people in the draw at the minute, so you got a good chance of winning.